let's go to the ACC. We've got 3 teams left here. RC's got 2 of them. I've got 1 of them sandwiched in between. We're going to start, though, with the Miami Hurricanes. RC, what's your resolution?
I wish I could get some they just need height. I don't know if you guys have watched them yet. Amir's giving them a toughness that the rumor was that going into last year, you can just be physical and kind of almost punk them. That's not the case. I mean, they answered the call against UVA. UVA was one of those teams. I watched them when both games last year. They felt like physically they could just manhandle Miami. Not the case this year. They don't have size. They can score it. They get after you defensively. They create turnovers. They're a matchup nightmare. Like I said this before, Jordan Miller is the one guy people aren't talking about. I mean, you're thinking about Nigel Pack. You're talking about Isaiah Wall.
We're talking about him. We had him on the show.
Listen.
We had him on the show 2 nights ago.
He can do it. I think he's the best player nationally not the best, but he's one of the best players nationally. People just aren't talking about it. But this team's going to be a tough out. Like, it wouldn't surprise me right now going forward. I think there's teams like Duke could bother them because they're just overall size of that team. But, man, they're going to be a tough-ass out for you guys. I mean, for anybody going forward. I wish they had size. I mean, height. I would say height because Amir's a big dude, but they're going to be a tough out. They got scoring. They got a lot of guys that can do it. I think Nigel Pack can be even better offensively for him. But being the 3rd guy or 4th guy offensively on that group, he fits in fine. I've liked what I've seen from him so far. They're on an 8-game win streak. Their only loss was to Maryland. I mean, they'll be a tough out. Rebounding is always a concern, for them. But that's just their style of play. All those guys are bought into it, and they just fly around and make plays.
Hey, RC, let me ask you this: where would you have Isaiah Wong in the ACC Player of the Year conversation right now?
I don't know why he's not in the front. I mean, who's been better?
That's what I was getting at.
Who's been better? I mean, who's been better?
No one.
I mean, he's been hands down the most. He's been the most consistent from the beginning. I mean, I think he's been the most consistent player from the beginning. So I like the team. I know it's early. We're about to get into conference play. They're already 3-0. A couple of teams hadn't played much more than 1 game already. They got 3 wins already. They're sitting pretty. I like what I see out of them. I think they're like a scrappy team. They get after, they force turnovers. Their lack of size is a concern, and when the game slows down, they'll make people in this league, and every league will make adjustments to them. But I love with this. They got too many playmakers. They're a tough team to stop.
Let me tell you this, RC, because here's what I think my resolution for this team would be: is to go to Nigel Pack, go take his life wallet, get all those $400,000 out of it, and throw him back in the bank and say, you don't get this till you start playing like the guy that was at Kansas State, right? At Kansas State last year, he shot 43.6% from 3. The year before that, as a freshman, he shot 40.5% from 3. He was 45.5% from the floor last season. He was over 40% from the floor as a freshman. This year, he's shooting 39% from the floor and 32% from 3. This is why you don't give the guys NIL money before they prove it, right?
Right. But I think I'm hoping
$400K for 11 points a game, $400K for shooting 30% from the floor against high major competition. Nigel, man, come on! I know you got that life wallet pack. You got that $400K. You got to be better. Hey, look, I'll tell you this: if Nigel Pack put up the numbers and shot at the clip, I'm not going to say put up the numbers because he's not going to get the same number of shots. But if he shot at the clip
percentage-wise
that he shot last year, if he had those same percentages, if he's a 40+% 3-point shooter, if he's as effective as he was off the bounce last year, like we're talking about Miami, like legitimately.
They're Baylor. They're Baylor every year. They're Baylor in the past. They're Baylor.
Yes.
The three-headed monster lineup, they're Baylor. They would be a team where we're like, good luck trying to guard them.
But they got the 4-man. Like that's the thing that Baylor doesn't have. They got the 4-man.
They would be the Baylor. I agree with you. I'm hoping he figures it out. But again, he put the bullseye on his back when he got that bag, and I'm not faulting him for it. But he's gonna have to be better if they want to win the league. He's gonna have to be better.
I love that Rob's just out here revolutionizing NIL contracts.